From one of the great novels of the 20th century comes a singular experience in motion picture entertainment, Dr. Zhivago. As a work of monumental literature, Dr. Zhivago is renowned throughout the entire world. Yet in the very nation in which the book unfolded, its name was silenced by official decree. And Boris Pasternak, the man from whose imagination the story sprang, was called a traitor and threatened with expulsion from his homeland. That true story is one of the most dramatic chapters in literature. The world became aware of it on an October evening in 1958. The Music Hall, Stockholm, Sweden.
The Nobel Prize for Literature to Boris Pasternak in recognition of important achievement in the field of great Russian epic tradition.
But Pasternak was not present to receive his award. Where was he? It was 15 miles southwest of Moscow in a modest frame house where Boris Pasternak heard that the world's most laureled literary honor had been bestowed upon him. 2 years later, in 1960, Boris Pasternak died, denied the international acclaim and recognition he so richly deserved. Pasternak's first exposure to the terror and revolution he was to describe so vividly in his novel occurred when he was 15. As young Pasternak grew, so did his quest for knowledge and truth. He continued his education in Moscow and later in Germany, where he studied philosophy, wrote poetry, and developed a passion for peace. But in the streets of Moscow, anarchy reigned as the rule of the Tsars was toppled. It was the turmoil and strife of this violent era that was to be the background for Pasternak's greatest novel. And it was during these years that he quietly put together notes on the character he called Yuri Zhivago. The novel completed, but denied publication in Russia, the manuscript was smuggled to an Italian publisher in Milan. Soon, the book without a country became the bestseller in nation after nation. Acclaimed by the world, Dr. Zhivago caught the attention of producer Carlo Ponti and Robert H. O'Brien, president of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, who took the story to one of the world's most outstanding motion picture directors, David Lean. The man who in 1957 took you to a remote corner of Indochina for the Academy Award-winning story of The Bridge on the River Kwai. 3 years later, in 1960, Lean made the memorable Lawrence of Arabia. Lean then turned to the dramatic challenge of Dr. Zhivago, the compelling story of a man who loved two women, deeply, sincerely, equally. To write the screenplay, Lean insisted on the services of the same man with whom he had worked on Lawrence of Arabia, the noted playwright Robert Bolt. With the screenplay nearing completion, a site had to be found which would act as the counterpart for the bleak beauty of the scenic Russian countryside. Scenery to duplicate the Ural Mountains, wide plains, and the lonely Russian steppes was found in Spain. For some scenes depicting the desolation of the ice-bound Russian winter, Lean took his cameras and crews to remote northern Finland, where at times they were within 10 miles of the forbidden Russian border. The most Lean went about restaging the days and nights of terror that marked the Russian Revolution. Again, the streets of Moscow resounded with the shouts of angry crowds. In times like these, when human emotions and the tension of the time are strained to the breaking point, there sometimes emerges the strongest emotion of all. By the terror of revolt. First, a novel by a Nobel Prize-winning author, and now a milestone in modern cinematic art. Dr. Zhivago, in a reserved seat engagement, is now showing exclusively at the Hollywood Paramount Theater.